I'm so excited to speak to our guest today. She's a marketing expert in the aesthetic industry. Please help me to introduce Kari Stevison.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, Kari. I'm so excited to ask you questions. I know people come to me all the time asking marketing questions, so I know you're going to give us the answers today.
I hope so.
Great. So, Kari, let's start off by telling the audience a little bit about your background.
Hi, my name is McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go.
How did you get inside the aesthetic industry? What led your passion, your growth?
I guess I started marketing probably 28 years ago. I think I was a toddler. No, I'm just kidding. But I started in diverse industries, managing big marketing teams, big e-commerce websites. So I've kind of run the gamut of different industries, but decided to go out on my own about 10 years ago and open up an agency. And one of my first clients was a body sculpting facility, and I just really fell in love with the industry, and we kind of niched in after that, really honed in on what's happening in this industry because it works really well with the type of marketing that we do. And so since then we've been aesthetics only. We deal exclusively with med spas, plastic surgeons, derms, cosmetic dentists, and so that's what we've been doing for about the past 8 to 10 years.
Awesome. So one of the main questions I get from practice owners when I tell them about, hey, you should try this marketing channel, they're like, we don't need it. We can do it in-house. We can figure it out ourselves. Tell us what's the importance of having a marketing, someone that's an expert in that.
I mean, this is a very specific industry. There's a lot of different nuances, and there's also a lot of not so great agencies that don't really understand the industry. So it's important that you work with someone because it'll save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of money. Just make sure that you trust that person and that you have a relationship like a business partner, because the best situations are the one where you're working with an agency and then you've got someone within the practice that can, be the liaison between the two, because it's almost impossible to do it in-house just because it takes so many specialties to pull off really a comprehensive marketing solution. I mean, it takes SEO experts, content writers, marketing managers, graphic designers. I mean, I could go on. There's probably about 10 different specialties that are working behind the scenes. And so to get one person and expect them to be experts in all of that stuff is pretty much setting yourself up to fail. I mean, they could be really great at social media, but then, what do they know about SEO? And so it's important to kind of understand all of it. And if you expect one person to be an expert in all of the things that really need to happen, then I think you're kind of setting them up to fail. I think the best win-win is where you have an agency that's an extension of you, and then you have someone that's in charge and accountable for marketing within the practice. That's kind of the best hybrid solution where you're gonna get all the benefits of all the specialties, without the price tag.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. That's very accurate. I definitely agree with that. Now, tell us, like someone that's interested, like, hey, I don't know anything about marketing, right? What are some simple questions? Most doctors that are opening practice, or even business owners that are opening practice, there's no way possible they can know all these things at the expert level. So what are some questions they can ask to know if they're going in the right direction when picking the right agency?
That's a great question. I guess for us, it's about, and they're not expected to know marketing. These are doctors, these are clinical people, and they're not expected to know. So, the best entrepreneurs are the ones that surround themselves with people that are strong in areas that they're not. If they try to do it all, then, again, that's setting themselves up to fail because it's not possible. Let them be great providers and supplement with a team that can take on some of the business end. But I mean, to me, I think the best agency situation is one that cares what happens after the lead gets to you. So a lot of agencies will run ads or whatever they're doing to give you leads. And then as soon as they toss you that lead, they're done with you. The good agencies will actually make sure that it closes, teach you how to close, put in systems so that you can actually work the lead and be accountable to the lead, because most practices get a lead, make a phone call, send an email, and then it goes into space. They squander those leads, even though they're paying for them, when you really need to touch those leads multiple times, sometimes 8, 9, 10 times, but you also need to have record of it, put in marketing automation, make your life simple with a sales and marketing process so that you can manage more with less and you can scale. And that's a big deal because, you know, you're paying for leads if they're not managed properly, or, you know, the owners don't have visibility into what's happening with those leads or how quickly they're being followed up with, then it's money wasted. And so the good agencies will also put in a process to help you close those leads and not just wash their hands once the lead gets to the, you know, in the practice.
Right. So you're saying you have to have a strong like cosmetic consultant or salesperson in your house before you even start the marketing.
I mean, to me, marketing starts before you're even open. I mean, you need to know, you know, what makes me different? How am I unique? Who is my competition? You know, what profit does this service bring to my practice? I mean, it's really amazing how much those questions aren't asked or even considered when a med spa opens. Like 10%, I think, of med spas write a business plan. They really don't know who they're up against, what makes them unique. Some of them even like reject their niche. You know, I've had clients that were, you know, I've got an all Brazilian clientele, but I really want to branch out. Why branch out? You know, hone in on what makes you and figure out, you know, what that profitable mix of services is. And if you don't know those answers, you know, there are business consultants out there that can help you. It's definitely worth the investment to write a business plan, think through some of these things from a business perspective, and then go out and tackle it. That's the difference between the ones that survive and don't.
Yeah, for sure. With the recession, when they're speaking about recession coming up, right? How big is it to kind of up your marketing now for that? Or what impact can marketing help to kind of lower that risk?
I mean, again, you know, marketing is a lot of things. And if you have a good agency, they can help you make sure that you're also providing a great experience, that you're selling packages, that you're working on a membership so that you can have retention, so that you're including, you know, skincare along with this laser package, because it provides a better experience and it will help you sell skincare, which should be 20 to 30% of your, you know, overall revenue. So, you know, a good business consultant, a good agency will help you consider those things. And as we know from COVID, I mean, it's a little bit recession proof. I mean, I don't care what's happening with the economy for the most part. I'm still going to get my Botox. I'm still going to get my lashes. I mean, it just is the way it is. Like, and so I think that we proved it to ourselves during that time. And and the ones that provide a great experience are going to be the ones that, you know, continue to thrive.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, I know we're talking a little bit behind the scenes, and you actually help like solo injectors start their own business, correct?
Yep, I do. I help startups from the ground up get going. I help injectors move out of, you know, where they're at and start up their own med spas. I mean, there's a lot of non-core doctors moving into the aesthetic space that are coming from, you know, podiatry, cardiology, the emergency room, you know, so any one of those situations, you know, I come in and I help them get set up, write a business plan, talk about their service offering, talk about their staffing, and make sure that they have a staff that's trained and ready to go. Because just because you get that piece of paper doesn't mean that they're ready to go. So there's a lot of little nuances that go into it before they even open that we assist with.
Okay, nice. Now, I wanted to touch on the solo injector just a little bit more because I get literally so many people that reach out to me are like, "Hey, I've been working in aesthetics for a couple years and I'm ready to go on my own." And they don't know the first clue of what to do. Could you give them maybe 1 or 2 tips on what they can do?
Yeah, I mean, I would say write a business plan, and there's plenty of examples out there. The American Medical Spa Association, AmSpa, has some incredible resources. They have a boot camp that you can attend. It's a 1-day session that happens in cities across the U.S. It's great for startups. I mean, it's going to walk you through P&L, how to do the financials, marketing. So I would say start with a business plan because it's going to force you to think about the things that you need to think about. You know, who is my demographic? What is my competition? What am I going to offer as a service? What makes me unique? You know, start there because it's going to help you, you know, look internally into yourself and ask you questions, and then externally into what's around you to make sure that you've thought it through and then move forward. I mean, it'll also help you think through the financial piece. Do you have the money? Do you need to go get a loan? Those types of questions.
Okay, yeah, no, I can definitely understand that. Now, I get many companies, solo providers, and even bigger companies. And the question is always for from me is, does Facebook ads really work? Are they profitable to use? What are your thoughts on that?
I would say, yeah, absolutely they are, but not all ads are created equal. Just like all agencies are created equal, it's all in how it's set up. It's all in who does it. There's some gotchas, from body shaming to showing needles to Botox as a prescription that will get you shut down. And that's not a fun situation to be in. So, working with an agency can help you not only get a strong ROI, which will pay for itself and then some, but make sure that you also protect your other assets, which is your social media profiles. I mean, some of these profiles that we work with, they've got, 100,000 plus, followers, and you don't want to jeopardize that. So you want to do it with care. You want to do it the right way. And there is a right way, because, if you've been doing this for long enough, you bump into all of those situations that can get you shut down, and they're creating new ones every day. But it is a little tricky. Work with someone that's qualified. And so what you can expect is Facebook is going to be a lot of tire kickers. You're going to convert some, and it's going to be less expensive than, say, Google, where you're going to pay more, you're going to convert more. And so that's kind of the difference between the two, because you have to think about, with Google, someone is searching for, let's just say, Botox, and you're going to come up. The buying intent is much higher, and so you're going to convert more, but you're going to pay more. And, with Instagram, Facebook, you're going to get a lot of tire kickers. You're going to pay less, but you'll convert some, but expect a lot of tire kickers. Don't get deflated by it. Work those leads, and they'll convert. You'll get an ROI. But I would say do both. Start with one service and work that service until you get a good, strong ROI in either channel or both. Figure out which one's for you. It depends on the area. It depends on the competition. Once you get a good, strong ROI, throw more money at it, and then move on to another service. But don't try to do them all at once. Don't try to, just start with a little bit of money and a budget, and one service at a time, and get it humming, and then move on to another service and get it humming.
Gotcha. Yeah, because those systems are like Google's like a bidding system, right?
It is, and it's, there's a science to it too. You want to make sure that you're taking, your leads to a landing page instead of just your website, because with a landing page, you have one goal, and it's got a form at the top, and it's to fill out that form, as opposed to having navigation where they could scroll off into your before and after gallery or anywhere else, but fill out that form, get that lead. So you want to make sure that you're taking them to a landing page. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to the stats. You can see on Instagram and Facebook when, when the stats start to decline, it's time to refresh the campaign. It's important to kind of pay attention to the numbers and make sure that what's closing, what's turning into ROI, so that you can measure those things. And if you don't know how to do it, reach out to someone that's specific to this industry to help you, because the issues that exist are very specific to this industry.
Gotcha. How long does it take for this to work? Some people are like, I've been paying for a couple of months, I'm not seeing any success. How long does it really take for it to work?
Well, so I would say define not, really any success, because, the problem could be at multiple different places. We really have to kind of look and see. I've had people tell me, I've been paying all this money in ads and I'm not seeing anything. And then I go and take a look. Well, it's not the ads. The campaigns are working great. You just don't have a way to get the lead. You've got no form on your website, or you've got no landing page. You're not taking it to the right place. And so you're not optimizing that conversion. Your ads are working fine. You're just not getting the lead because you don't have a way for it to get to you. And so it really kind of depends on what they mean by it's not working, because the data can tell a lot about what exactly they mean. A lot of people just don't understand what they're saying. We really have to kind of dig deep. But if it's not working, then try another service. Try something that's less competitive. Sometimes it's about testing and figuring out the sweet spot and giving it enough time. I would say at least 3 months per service before you give up, because it takes a minute to optimize. It takes a minute to kind of find that sweet spot. So give it at least 3 months. Make sure you got a good setup. And if you don't, I work with an agency.
All right. Yeah, no, for sure. What is an average budget that people should be spending, like kind of when they're starting off, or even like a minimum for it to really like see some traction?
We usually start with $1,000 per service per channel. So if we're talking, Facebook, Instagram, Google, $1,000 per service is a good place to start for 3 months. And then once you get that sweet spot, throw more money at it, as long as it's returning an ROI. And I would say a good ROI would be 5 to 1. What that means is for every dollar you spend, you're getting $5 back. That's about where you should aim, between 3 to 5 back.
Okay, for sure, for sure. And is that equal amongst all the specialties like derm, plastic, and med spas?
I would say that's a good budget for whatever the service is. I mean, some things are going to be a lot more competitive, like breast augmentation if you're a plastic surgeon, but I probably wouldn't start with that one. I'd probably try to find something that's a little less competitive.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Where can people that are new kind of get some information on this prior to going to see a consultant?
I mean, Facebook's got some resources, and so does Google. They'll actually help you set up your campaigns. They'll actually work with you to get them rolling. Utilize them. They're free, and you can reach out to Google. They'll help you set it up. You can reach out to Facebook. They've got people there that will also help set up your campaigns.
Nice. At what point should they seek out a consultant?
I mean, I think it's great to do that kind of thing, meaning work with someone at Facebook or Google, just to have a baseline understanding of the words that, come out of our mouth. When you do partner with an agency, you want to be able to understand what we're saying. And sometimes it's like, they look at me like I have 5 heads, and I don't mind explaining it 100 times. But, if you can, even if you fake it till you make it, you can keep an agency on their toes just by understanding what they're saying, even if it's just conversions, just some of the basic lingo. And that way you can, you can hold them accountable.
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that, because I think the biggest thing with the marketing is I've seen it for myself, and I know it does work. I've even worked with some agencies behind the scenes with med spas, but there's so many, I feel like, people that just don't really care about the process and gives it a bad name, that a lot of practices are kind of like shifty on whether they should move forward with it or not.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad agencies out there that have kind of given us all a bad name. I mean, if anything, it's given us a model for what we don't want to be. You want an agency that's going to be transparent, that what they're doing. You don't want to be the agency that's like, what are they doing over there? I mean, that's not a good place to be. Or you're spending $2,000 on SEO, but there's no changes happening to your website. There's no magic wand. It's just roll up your sleeves and get in there and make it happen. You should be able to see things happening on your website. You should be able to see new content going up. SEO is all about content. And if there's no content going up, you're being duped. But hopefully, and not all agencies are created equal. I would say, go with your gut, go with the one that you feel like you have a relationship with, because it is a relationship, and hold them accountable. And, outside of that, have a good, well-rounded, approach you want to do. The key in this space, I'm telling you, it's all about SEO. You're going to get 80% of your leads from search. You're going to get a little bit from social media, and you'll get a little bit from referrals, but you're going to get the bulk of it from people searching. These services are what we call considered purchases. And what that is it's something that if you're going to spend this kind of money on something, you're going to go and you're going to do your research. You're going to research the procedure. You're going to research the doctor. You're going to research all the different things that could help solve your problem before you even pick up the phone or book a consult. It's about being there when they do that research. So, focus on local SEO, focus on, regular SEO. All of that is about content, and write about the things people are searching for. They'll come to your website.
Nice. Do you feel as though you have to tell the consumer a story, kind of like your background, who you are? Do you have to be more personable?
Absolutely. That's one thing where I think a lot of injectors miss the mark, is not selling themselves or focusing on their personal brand. The personal brand is uber important, because, they have choices out there. And so, invest in your training, invest in yourself, invest in going to work with some of the better plastic surgeons out there, these advanced courses, and there's lots of them out there. Then you can say, hey, I've trained with the world's best. But you always have to be learning, and you always have to be progressing, and you always have to be kind of pushing the envelope if you want to be a great injector, let's just say. So invest in yourself, think about your personal brand, definitely have a stellar bio. If it's lackluster, make it great. Go train with some people, go take some courses here and there, go do some advanced techniques. That's what's going to make excellence, and make sure that you tout those things. So definitely pay attention to your personal brand. Make sure that you're, sharing on social media. You got to be kind of a hustler to make it, as a great injector, because you got to put yourself out there. You got to put your work out there. You got to engage with people, be educational, be a sponge, have a thirst for knowledge, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Where can people find you if they're interested in your services? And tell us, like, how does the process work?
So you can hit us on our website. It's plastics with an X, marketing.com. You can fill out a form. It'll come directly to me and I'll give you a call.
Awesome, awesome. How does the process work if someone's interested? Like, what's the steps after that?
So, I'll take a good look at what their website looks like. If they have one, if it's a startup, then I'll talk to them a little bit about, what are we working with? What's their specialty? What kind of doctor are they? Are they a doctor? First steps would be business plan, know your state laws. If you have a business partner, operating agreement, it depends on how, far back we're starting. But, the website's going to be one of the first things that go up because it needs to be, that content needs a season in order for it to start to rank. And so I would get your website up as quickly as possible so that it can be working for you while you're figuring out all these other parts and pieces. And a lot of people don't realize that you should do that. They're almost ready to open the doors and then their website goes up and, and that hurts them. So I would say the first step is I'm going to take a look at their website. I'm going to see what I'm working with because it's going to be the nucleus of their marketing in my world, and see, who built it. Does it portray, excellence? Because it really needs to. It really needs to be, exceptional and aesthetic. You'd be surprised at how many. Sorry, I got to plug in my computer. How many, ugly websites are out there, and this is an aesthetics industry. You're being judged from the first moment that they hit your website, and it should be. I apologize. Let me poke this in. I apologize.
You're good. You're good.
You edit this, right?
Yeah, I'll edit this part. You're totally fine.
Okay. I was like, I'm gonna lose you. So the website needs to be beautiful. It's a projection of who you are. It also needs to be a lead generating machine. And so if it's not, then, that's what we aim to make it into. Is it foundationally, set up for SEO? Is it going to drive leads? Is it going to rank? And does it portray who I am as a person? Is it beautiful? I mean, this is a beautiful industry. It really needs to be functional, drive leads, beautiful, and then, close them once they get into that practice.
Yes, no, I couldn't agree more. Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you, Kari, so much for sitting down with me, speaking more about the industry and the marketing aspect. Tell everybody where they can find you and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me at plastics with an X marketing.com. That's PLASTIX marketing.com. Just fill out a form, and there's plenty of case studies and portfolio items on our website as well, but it'll come directly to me and I'll reach out to you.
Awesome, awesome. And until next time, bye.
Bye. Thank you. I really appreciate it.